Hey guys, Chris here, Molten Kettlebell Club with Nathan. We are gonna today kind of start something new. We want to maybe start doing every week. We don't have a name for it. Maybe something with brain candy, maybe something with the news feed. But basically what we're gonna do is take all the overwhelming amount of articles I've written each week that we all enjoy reading but don't always have time for, or don't know how to decipher it or filter through it or know what to do, what not to do. Maybe this article says to do this, this one says to do that. Well, we're going to take time, we're going to pick our few favorite articles of the week, either debunk some of them or support some of them and go through them, or some of the, maybe the hotter topics, and then we're going to have one each week that we think is probably the must read of the week that we'll go ahead and link these below. So if you want to go through and read them, you can, or if you just want to listen and hang out, you can. But we're going to get started. Nate's going to share one of the articles we have. This week was pretty popular. Why don't you go ahead and talk about it a little bit?
So hopefully you've seen this week the New York Times article about The Biggest Loser and what happens to them after they get out of the facility. One thing I've seen other articles before too, where they say, like, have you ever noticed there's never a reunion episode or thing going on for what happens to these people after they leave this facility? So this article from the New York Times this week was talking about how much weight they've actually put back on after leaving the show. And as you go through the article down through here, it talks about their experiences of, like, while they were there, they were in this facility for it's like 6 or 7 months.
Right.
Everything is controlled about their life. They're working out like 6 or 7 hours a day, and they've got all their food prepped for them, while they're in this thing. So that's how they lose all that weight. And so we watch the show and go, I could do that too. It should be that easy, but we forget that they are in a controlled environment. And so as it goes through the article, they're talking about what happened to their body after all this. And a lot of them are sitting there saying, and the article saying, like, their metabolism slowed down because of the show. Therefore, they're putting all the weight back on after the show. And so it goes through, just like, right here it says it has to do with resting metabolism. They're saying that it went down because of the restricted eating. They went down from, 4,000 calories a day down to 1,500, and that's what's causing them to gain this weight back. And so my first question, I'm going to just ask Chris, is what's your thoughts on that?
The biggest thing with The Biggest Loser to me is we look at them and it's motivating to watch them lose all that weight. But in the end, it's a show that's based on entertainment, and so we all enjoy it, which is why they take these guys into rooms with donuts and cookies, and their goal is to, like, avoid temptation. Like, in reality, you would never do that to yourself. You would never go hang out at the donut shop just to see how long you could last without eating it. But, like, second is the show is a competition based on weight loss. And so the producers and stuff don't really care too much about the health side of it. And if you watch the last video where we talk about health, fitness, and performance, this is where something that looks like it's trying to get people healthy, where really it's just diving somebody deep into the fitness end of it. Even anymore, when you watch their workouts, they're doing barbell stuff, which is performance-based. Yeah. And the reason that I think these people have these metabolism issues and come out and gain all this weight back is because they never built that foundation on health. But that's not why they're there either. I mean, they're there to win a competition. Competition is who can drop the most weight the fastest. It's not who can get the healthiest the fastest and maintain it forever. Yeah. So I think the show itself probably shouldn't be held responsible. I think, it just takes more education on our part, even as the viewers, of, like, watching it, not getting entertained by the person who has to avoid eating a donut.
Right.
The more we feed the monster, the bigger it's gotten.
Yeah. And
so now people are starting to learn how, a lot of this stuff is affecting them. But that needs to be a light bulb for the rest of us to realize, like, we can't just chase calories. We can't just be on this rat wheel of, like, I've got to lose weight, weight loss, and realize that, strength really is that important because it affects your health in so many more beneficial ways from the health foundational standpoint. Then I just need to weigh less. I need to have less of a relationship with gravity.
Yeah. And I think one thing that we find a lot as we work with our people is, and it tends to be more with the women, but men do it too, is they don't eat enough food and they get really frustrated why they have low energy, why they're not getting stronger, why they're not dropping the weight like they think they would, because they take that banking model, right?
Mm-hmm.
Calories in, calories out. If the deficit's there, I should lose weight. But the body doesn't work that way.
Yeah, so let's just debunk that first myth of like, if you want to lose weight, you have to like burn more energy and eat less food. I mean, it's everywhere. We see it. That's what they base off of. They work out 8 hours a day, which probably boosts their metabolism.
Yeah.
But then they're only feeding themselves 1,200 calories, if that, I'm sure. Like the work out more, eat less doesn't work. And we still see stuff online from probably credible trainers in other areas, but they still think, I'm going to just hand that over. And that's, you know, a firm belief of why I don't think trainers should really dive into nutrition and why we keep it separate, like why we have Jesse and why we send people there, because your body's so unique to you, and your metabolism, what makes, you know, everything work within you, that for me to just give everybody the same meal plan isn't going to achieve the same result.
Right.
You know, and there's a difference between a meal plan or nutritional guidance to get you healthy, to get you fit, and to help you perform. Like, they're different. Everything is different. And so, you know, I think, you know, that first myth of really just getting over that, like, but how often do you see that? Like, eat less, work out more.
Oh, it's common, and that's the first thing that many people ask us, like, what am I have to stop eating? And you know, we work really hard with them to understand that it's about your behavior, not about what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
If you do eat less, we tell this all the time, if you do eat less, then we're gonna give you this basic framework in which to eat with your percentages, because if you're focusing on how much fat you're taking in, how much carbs and how much protein, okay, you only eat 1,500 calories that day, that's fine. Just stay within this framework.
Yeah.
But if you eat 2,500 calories that day, we still want you to stay in that framework, because within that, your behavior will be more consistent. And when your behavior is consistent, then you get the results that you're after.
Right, 80% behavior, 20% head knowledge. And I tell most people that you don't need me to help you lose weight. You know what to do. Especially the people who have already lost weight. They'll say, I've had a trainer before and I lost X amount of pounds, but then afterwards I put it back on. And then they want me to do the same thing their trainer did before to help them lose the weight. But we're just cycling through the badness of like, okay, well then when you're done with me, you're just gonna put the weight back on.
Yeah.
But you've proven yourself as a master in it with experience to show me that you've already lost 60 pounds. You know what to do. Go do it. Let's add something different to the equation by allowing me to affect your strength training. You do your nutrition like you're doing, and if I find it becomes destructive, or you're starving yourself, or you're trying to only eat 1,000 calories, or you're doing some HCG baloney where you're only eating 500 calories, then I'll intervene and talk about a nutrition coach. But at first, most people know, eat less sugar, eat more vegetables, drink more water, sleep more.
Yeah.
You'll feel better, you'll lose weight. Like,
Yeah,
it's not hard.
Yeah, and I think simply for most people, if you're downing, you know, energy drinks and things like that, and you're grabbing full strength Monsters or Red Bulls, it's not just the caffeine and the other things that are in there to get you jolted. They are full of sugar. And then you'll tell me, oh, well, I do the low sugar ones.
Yeah.
They're still full of enough stuff in there that it's so artificial that it's just temporary. And once they finally cleanse themselves of that and the sugar, they go, man, I feel so much better. And then at that point is right when something happens. Their body will shed that stress that you're putting yourself under, and then you'll lose the weight.
Yeah.
And like the same thing with The Biggest Loser, that, you know, they're there to win a contest, but the other thing is they're put under constant stress, right? That's why we watch the show. It's all about the drama. And then they leave, and then now they're dealing with the stress of like, oh my gosh, I'm putting 70 pounds back on. I'm heading back, but they've never gone back and changed their behavior.
Right.
They just tried to win that money. And then I think it was a couple years ago, the lady that won looked anorexic.
Yep.
And she did whatever it took just to win that money. It wasn't about her health. And so that's the things to consider when you read articles like this. It's like, oh, my metabolism slowed down, that's why I'm gaining weight. There's so much more at play. Your metabolism's slowing down because A, you're not moving, right? We got to move often. You got to move well, to quote, you know, FMS, which we use heavily. You need to keep doing the things that make you active, so that way you need that food, and then you get to eat more food. And especially with strength, we love strength not just because of the ego of like, yeah, I got to pick that up, but it's our foundation for everything that we do. You'll never hear us tell someone, or you'll hear any of our clients say, you know, I was too strong for that.
Yeah, I don't like being this strong.
Yeah, I don't like being this strong. Because picking up all these heavy kettlebells, people are intimidated at first, but once they do it, they go, man, that was fun, let's do it again.
Yeah.
And that's what it needs to be about. It's not about punishing yourself. It's not about destroying your body. It's about building it up to be better than it was before and stronger than you've ever been before.
Right.
And that doesn't matter your age, especially if you're an adult. As a teen and stuff like that, you're just coming into that prime. But once you're in your 20s plus, all the way through to the day you die, you should be working even stronger, because that will keep you moving well. And as we work with older people, the most important thing is, it's not if you fall, it's when you fall, what are you going to do? And so that's, losing weight also means you're losing muscle mass. When you lose that muscle mass, you lose your protection for your body for when you fall. It's not an if, it's a when.
Well, I think this shows a lot of people too the importance of having a coach or a trainer guide you through this, but it's hard to find the right one. So, go ahead and read the article. We'll link it below, or if you've already read it, chime in, comment, email us, whatever, with your own opinion, or if you want to talk to us further about it, go ahead and do it. We're going to move to the next article. We're only hitting 2 this week, so that was kind of our big one for the week because it was so popular, and that big myth of like eat more, work out less, and the damage that's actually causing. So, dive into that. But this next one, this is going to be your must-read article of the week. It's on breaking muscle. It was written by Justin Lind. It's the definitive case for the Russian swing. So Nate's going to break it down a little bit of what went on in this article.
So the case, the article that he's here is, this guy's not only a kettlebell instructor, he's an RKC level 2, but he's also a CrossFit instructor. And so we get this question all the time, are you guys like CrossFit? And we would say, no, we're actually way different. Well, it looks like you guys are doing CrossFit. And it's like, yeah, maybe.
Right.
But his article here is saying, what's the difference between the American swing, where you're swinging up overhead, or the Russian swing, which we use, is everything, it doesn't exceed eye level ever. In fact, usually ranges below that. And so he's breaking down the differences between the two and why the Russian swing is better than the American swing, and about the power generation, about safety, and so he gives all the reasons why, and he talks about, they say the American swing burns more calories because you take the weight up, and it's all about intensity, so therefore it must be more work. And the Russian swing, and I'll let Chris comment on this, about force equals mass times acceleration.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, and he breaks it down that in fact when you generate more force in one thing, you're using more energy versus intensity. Intensity is so relative to what you're doing that could be different. So you want to speak on that?
Well, and I'm going to talk about Brett Jones a little bit. If you don't know Brett Jones, he's a physical therapist. He's one of the chief, or I think he's chief kettlebell instructor for Strong First now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he talks a lot about the swing and the difference in the American swing and the Russian swing, because he says the point of the swing is you're exerting force with your hips horizontally, so it's going forward. If you want to go vertical and overhead, there are lifts for that, which would be like the snatch, high pull, things like that. That if you need to, whatever, because of your sport or whatever's going on in your program, that you need to exert energy up, we snatch. If we need to exert energy forward, we swing. And so that, to me, right there, ends the argument. I mean, there's no need to pull the bell all the way up overhead, even if you have adequate shoulder mobility and thoracic mobility, rotation, and shoulder stability, and all these things. Even if you have that, that's everybody's argument. Well, what if I have it? I should be able to do it. Like, yeah, you absolutely can do it, but if I'm going to exert energy vertical, I'm going to do the lift that is designed to exert energy forward. I'm not going to rob my hips and take away something so big that's trying to push energy forward and make it throw energy up all of a sudden. It's going to just deteriorate what my main goal is. And so, I don't tell people not to do overhead swings, just when you're with me, you don't do them. Yeah, it's that simple.
Yeah, he argues that in the article. He says, it's not that I don't ever do them, but I do 1 to 200 per year. And when you do swings with us, that's a warm-up sometimes for some of our ladies, because they rock. And I know they have learned that this is so effective and so corrective, and made them better at everything because they know how to use their hips, and that's why we use it. It's about knowing how to use your hips in everything that you do. It's not just to swing the bell, but to pick something up off the floor. to get out of the way of something quickly.
Yeah.
That's why we use that and how it translates into other things. Plus, it's also a lot of fun to move up through these really heavy ones and see the results. It's like, man, a year ago, I couldn't even do half of that. Now I'm there doing 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 swings.
Yeah. You know, and you want to, if you're going to start taking American swing out because you've been doing it, you know, it's not that you shouldn't be doing it. Like you said, he does 100 to 200 a year. Like, you know, go ahead and challenge yourself if you enjoy it, if you have the adequate range of motion, and, you know, wherever you work out, you guys do them. But for the most part, develop your strength in it and your form in it from the Russian swing. You know, and if you're going to take it out completely, you know, don't just take it out, but replace it with something better. So, like, tricep dips on a bench are pretty terrible for the shoulder, but a lot of people do them because it's a great tricep workout. Well, I don't want to just necessarily tell that person, don't do tricep dips. I want to educate them on why they shouldn't do it based on like what's happening to their shoulder and what's going on, and that their tricep really isn't even working that hard, and give them an alternative to actually train that. So if you do overhead swings for a reason, because you want to put something overhead because of the core muscles or whatever you're feeling, you know, don't just remove it, but try to find a way through educating yourself to replace it with something better. So for us, it's snatches, and sometimes it's heavy snatches or double snatches, or, you know, push press, jerks, things like that were designed in that movement pattern to exert energy up. So, you know, I don't want it to sound like, oh, American swings are bad, because there was a time when RKC taught, you know, a two-headed overhead snatch that basically looks just like a American swing, even though it came up the front of the body and punched. It wasn't a big pendulum up. You know, we can't be too dogmatic about it, because there's a right time and a wrong time, but for most people, they're better off with just sticking with the Russian swing for most of their goals. So, any last words on any of the articles?
No, I think that's it. And like I said, we're always reading stuff, and so when we find them, we always share them with each other and discuss this stuff. So we thought we'd help you guys kind of break some of this stuff down, because you don't speak our language. If you're an accountant, we don't speak your language.
Yeah.
So we're just going to try to help that. If you have questions, yeah, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to, you know, educate and inform. We don't really want to argue, like, you know, negatively, but just trying to be positive with these things and help you understand this is why we do this. This is where we learn a lot of this stuff sometimes, and so we just want to share it with you.
Yeah, cool. If you have questions, let us know. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week with some more articles and tips and training. And keep an eye out for more brain candy videos and all that. And we appreciate you watching. We'll see you guys.
All right, thank you.